Hello, everyone. How's it going? Tim Brown here with another conversation, Monday morning marketing and coffee, and I'm happy that you guys are tuning in. And today I'm going to be talking about what's the feeling that you want your company's customers to feel after they come to you. So many of us do not have a service or product that involves saving a life or is absolutely crucial to survival. And even if you're like, let's say in the food industry or something like that, people could choose any other food, or they could, just get bread and things like, and they don't always need to choose your product. So often, I think that people are after a feeling when they purchase a product or service. So my question to you is, what is that feeling that you want your company's customers to feel after they come to you? I think that there's a lot of different ones that a marketing agency could choose. But I'm curious if anyone has this feeling or has this thought down already. What is it when people come to you? Frankly, this is usually what they're actually buying, particularly if what you sell isn't a need. My idea for a little workshop that you could do is to write down 10 descriptors of things that people could feel after they work with you. Write down 10 adjectives and then circle the top one. Maybe you want to circle a couple and then talk it through with your team or something like that. What is this feeling that we're going after? And the point of this is, how could you increase this for your top 50% of your customers? So once you identify what that emotional feeling is, once they get done with your product or service, how could you increase it for your top 50% of your customers? So I'm not asking you to, think about any, some of your customers, for instance, don't have like the greatest experience or something like that. I'm asking you to think about your absolute ideal customers, the people that get the most value out of what you do. How can you increase this for those people? And then lastly, I want to say, how could you position yourself more or market yourself better towards this descriptor? So we're so often telling people, I do this and I can do this, this, and this. Like, here's my services and here's the specific items that I can do. But we don't really talk that much about what that feeling is. A lot of times, a lot of companies don't, especially if you're a small business, especially if you're new to kind of thinking about marketing. So where is that feeling? And then how can we increase that? How can I help those people anticipate that and understand that that's what we provide? So, a realtor perhaps taken care of might be a thing. Confidence that they made the right choice, those kinds of things. I think for our company, it might be like fortitude. They feel stronger fortitude towards their marketing and distribution, towards their sales and marketing. So anyways, this is what I'm encouraging you guys to do today. Write down 10 descriptors for what you think people feel after they get your product or service. And Mickey, I love that. That's amazing. Strong, calm, loved, empowered. What you're doing, that's awesome. And I think, this feeling, right, defines how we're showing up for those people too, in the product or service, in Lucas's case, in music, in Mickey's case, yoga. So you've got this clear result that not only you're starting to talk about a little bit more on the front end, the feeling of freedom, perhaps for Lucas, he could talk about that in the promotion of his shows. Mickey can talk about, being calm, and she does yoga for companies. So shout out for Mickey and groups. So she can promote that a little bit more with this descriptor of calm and talk it through and say that on the front end. so that people know what feeling they're supposed to get. Because often we are purchasing that feeling. And if people have clarity on the front end, I think they're much more likely to purchase, right? And I think that's an awesome way to define it, because I think we get, you're in the weeds. If you have a company, if you have a small company, if you're providing a service, we get in the weeds about here's the specifics. Maybe you're redoing the specifics. I think that's often the case, right? You're kind of reworking some of the specifics in the product or service, and you get kind of distracted by it. And you think that that's what people are buying because, hey, it's specific. And I tell them the details. And, that's what sells them. But not usually, really. You know what I mean? They're buying that calm in Mickey's case. They're buying, they know that feeling that they're going to have afterwards. And if you get that real clear, you really understand that, then it's going to be a lot easier for your guys' companies and my company, really, and we're getting this done too, to share that story. And also it spreads too a little bit better if there's clarity around what feeling we want people to feel afterwards, right? Because then it's not diluted by all these different things, these details, but more on the result, the feeling result that they have afterwards. So yeah, details of product and service, in sales, I've studied that this past year because I had to grow this business. And often, sales gurus will tell you you're going way too deep on details, especially if you're like a technician, somebody that cares deeply about the specifics. Like in the case of music, you care so deeply about the sevenths and the fifths and all these interesting rhythmic signatures, for instance. And if you're a person who's providing yoga, you're going really deep on some of the physiological details of why that's so important. And sometimes that loses people versus just talking about that feeling. And sales gurus say this all the time. Stop focusing on all these specific details of like deliverables and stuff like that. Start focusing on how it's going to feel afterwards. Help them imagine that feeling and transport them to that spot. I mean, if you can help them feel that and understand that they'll feel that more, super powerful. Anyways, I'm kind of being redundant now, but thank you for joining me for Monday Morning Marketing and Coffee. Join me next week and do a little bit more of what you love this week. All right, guys. Bye.